So, how you doing, Coach?
I'm good. I'm good, man.
Yeah, yeah. How's the weather? In your area today? Cause the gym, we couldn't open the gym today because of beautiful weather today.
Yeah, yeah. It's Oklahoma. You know, you never know what you're gonna get.
I know, I know, I know. On a day like this, man, what are some of the things that boxers could be doing because the gym is not open today, right? So, what are some of the things that you could kind of like prescribe or just suggest to some of the boxers, some of our boxers that they didn't come to the gym that they can do at home with by themselves or with their parents.
Um, this is mostly everything is like simple stuff. Nothing overcomplicated. In boxing, you want to try to work on the small things and perfect those to the best that you can. So anything simple. If they've been sparring before, I try to encourage them to record their sparrings, and if they fought or have been in competition before, ask them, maybe they get their parent or a friend to record their competitions and watch it with the TV off, with the sound off. Watch it with the sound off and look at the little stuff, the stuff that we drill on through the week or so, and see if they're performing them right. That's one thing. Well, that'll be more like film study. So, not necessarily film studying their opponent or who they were, just film studying themselves to see
Themselves.
if they're doing, you know, what they should have been doing correct. You know, um, a lot of things they can spot that they did wrong. So, biggest thing, on days like this, you'll have nothing to do. You can work on small stuff or like technique, or you can do film study
Okay.
of your favorite fighter.
Okay.
Basically, I would like to do film study on myself. Like days like this, back when we had it wasn't really like a lot of cell phone video and nothing like that. You had like VHS
Yeah.
or somebody that had a camera recorder,
Yeah.
and I would go back and watch video on myself
Yeah.
and just look at stuff, that could have been done better and stuff. So I tell them the same thing, like go look and see what you could have done better, what you did wrong. Don't never pick up all the stuff that you did good. The stuff that you did good, you got an ideal of that, but you don't have an ideal on the things that you do bad, the bad habits, or what punch that you caught, or what position were you in that you felt awkward, or so you can go back and remember that.
Wow.
So stuff
Wow.
like that.
Wow. Thank you so much, Coach. And let me officially welcome you to TMTV 2020. And for many of the viewers who don't really know who I'm speaking with, Coach T is the head coach of the boxing gym that I go to in Oklahoma City. Coach, I'm very happy and I'm very excited to have you on the show today. And today we pretty much talking about boxing basics, you know. And from your own understanding, I know you've been around boxing for a longer time. And as a matter of fact, you sent something to some videos to us this afternoon. I forgot what you was talking about. Cause okay, about people not touching the gloves.
Yeah.
Can you elaborate a little bit on that?
Well, I know it's a habit of sportsmanship usually when people are scoring or in competition, they touch gloves, but that's really, you have to be aware of everything that's going on.
Mm,
And some people are looking to take advantage of it.
yeah.
And just so happened somewhere along the line that it became popular to some people, not all, but to some, to touch gloves, and that's the time that you're open. You're exposed, and they'll sucker punch you. It's not
Mm,
really a sucker punch in boxing, because a sucker punch, you got your head turned backwards, you're not looking, so you're
yeah.
thinking all the action is gone,
Mm,
and you get. So actually, this here is not necessarily a sucker punch. It's not it's not something that people was like, oh man, that's dirty.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not, but it is kind of. But in the same sense, it's not. It's as if once the referee says fight and said initiate the goal to go ahead and compete, everything's fair game after that. So I always tell the kids, even in practice, you ain't never been hit by something like that, and that can actually end a fight for you before you even get a chance. Everybody can defend the punch when you expected the punch coming.
Yeah.
But when you notice the punch that you're not expecting, it's usually the one that gets you. So, when you're in combat with somebody, you can expect to get hit once you all square up with each other. So, but once that bell rings, you're in combat then, It's like the referee, once you throw the ball in on basketball, if you don't defend and I go and score, you're not paying attention. You always see it all the time on the baseline. The guy's got his back turned, and he's turning away from the guy that's got the ball on the out of bounds. And what the guy do? He throws it off his backside.
He couldn't come back, man.
Exactly. It's a sucker move, but if you fall for it, you fall for it. So same thing in boxing. I tell them to get them used to this. Stop touching gloves when we're going to the ring. Stop touching gloves when you go to the ring, because you need to be aware. Once I say fight, or the referee, official, whatever says fight and compete, everything is wide open there, and they tell you all the time. It's known in boxing, protect yourself at all times. I even tell them, once that bell rings or the referee says stop and it's time to go to the corner, even walk backwards. Walk backwards to the corner. Don't completely turn your attention away from the person that you're squaring off against. Kind of walk backwards or keep an eye on them until you get seated. Because you protect yourself at all times. Anything can happen. So that's one of my things. I tell them, don't touch gloves, because they're setting yourself up for something later on down the line. You don't want to never be too friendly, especially when somebody trying to swing on you.
Yeah, Coach, thank you for your answers on that. Aren't you surprised that are the pro that are doing that kind of mistake? Because I remember a fight between Floyd Mayweather and Victor Ortiz. Same situation. Aren't you surprised that pro are the type of boxer doing that kind of costly mistake, and it's costing them a fight of that big magnitude?
Well, since you speak in particularly of that fight, that right there was initiated. Far as I've known, watching Floyd, and it's to me, he's always a person of fair game, and he's a fair game person. He wants to beat you fairly and distinctively, And if he don't beat you fairly and distinctively, he'll go back and rematch you to beat you decisively after that. So but now leading up to what happened that got Mr. Ortiz hit while he wasn't aware of, it was the headbutt. Now, the headbutt right there was like, there was a move out of frustration, and that we consider that dirty. So now, once you go dirty, there's no reason for me to go and be clean. Some people will, and some people I want to get my lick back. But if you get your lick back without the outside of the what would you say
touching gloves,
the area of contest, that's different. But if it's within the area of contest, after the bell rings and the referee says fight, and I get my lick back, you wasn't expecting it, then that's on you. So the same thing that happened when I tell the kids and everybody don't touch gloves, it was in that same type of moment situation of once that bell goes off and the referee says fight, you have to be aware of what's going on. So Mr. Ortiz apparently felt bad about what happened, man. He knew it was a bonehead move. Wow. And he comes in to initiate a hug and say, "Man, I'm sorry." But Floyd still had his mind on, I'm going to get my lick back. And if you watch it, because I can remember this right now when I pull up the video, Floyd was finna hit him at first, and he kind of held off. And then he waited till he got in, and right after he went to get that hug, that when Floyd opened up on him. And he got got the quick. What was it? A 2 and a 3. It was a 2-3. So that when he got the 2 punches off, and that stopped Mr. Ortiz, kind of knocked him out of his senses. So and won the fight. So all of that was illegal because once again, once you say fight or initiate contest, everything is legal after that. So even if you did something dirty to me in the last round, if I didn't run across the ring, start jumping on you and stuff when the round was over and stuff, that's dirty. But once it's in the field of contest, when that ring bell go off, referee say fight, it's fair game. He just left himself open before they get hit. So what everybody would say, oh, that was dirty. Actually, it was legal, but he got him back legally.
I'm not gonna lie, Coach. I thought the same thing too. I'm like, why, Floyd? I'm like, why? But like you said, if it's still within the contest of the judges or the fight or the ring, it's allowed. Yeah. So today we're talking about boxing basics, man, Coach. Can you kind of like elaborate or explain to us like the fundamental boxing stances that we have, in boxing?
Okay. Then thinking about it, there's a few different boxing stances that people prefer. It depends on what side of the United States or where your influence is from the United States. Most of Midwest kind of fighters or so will fight in more of traditional boxing square stance. Right foot back, left foot back, and decent width, shoulder width apart or so. And that's a good solid stance because it gives you access to
So
both
can I
hands.
ask you a question before you go further? Like, does the stand? No. Okay. Say if I'm a lefty now, people say, okay, you an orthodox, so you have to use orthodox stand. But has that really changed? Because I've seen a couple of fighters these days. The power punch might be okay right hand, but they're fighting with the southpaw stance.
Well, usually when some people switch or so, they're switching with their dominant hand lead first. It depends. It's a strategic move. So say I'm right-handed and I hit harder with my right. If my right more is developed than my left, they might or your coach might prefer you to shift stance. Like on a strategic point, to switch stance, because that way you have a more dominant hand in front of you, and you could develop their backhand for later on. So if you're a right-handed fighter and you switch to southpaw, usually that's for a good strong jab, a good strong hook, quicker, more. You could use that hand more in different ways or so than you would use your weaker hand. So some coaches will believe in putting a stronger hand in front.
Oh.
To give you a good solid base and a defense. Because usually, if you haven't developed your left hand, and you're throwing lazy jabs, or you kind of like you're not getting any pop on it, or you're not getting it back fast enough, a coach will probably spot that and say, "Hey man, I think it'd probably be better for you to switch southpaw, but that's your stronger hand. Your right hand is your strong hand, so let's put that in front. That way you can execute the stuff that I want you to do, and I think that'll be better for you because you can use that as your dominant hand instead of being in the rear. You can keep it in the front, and we can develop your left hand or your rear hand later on down the line."
Wow. As you know, we have a two type of stands, right? Or do we have more than two? Because I only know southpaw and orthodox. Do we have any other stand or in between?
Okay. If you think about, those are only two so far as positional stances from your dominant hand. Okay. So rule is usually you want to put your stronger hand back on the rear hand, and that would be your power hand.
Yeah.
So your front hand is up front, and your power hand is for delivering a good hard blow or so.
Mm-hmm.
So more likely a left-handed guy will put his left hand behind him to get that more solid pop on it, and a right-hander will be more preferably to put their right hand in the rear hand position, but to get more pop on that. Now, you have the more like that stance-wise.
Yeah.
You have a square stance, traditional, and you have a bladed stance. The bladed stance is everything kind of changes, but it could blend into your square stance too if you are able to do that.
Oh, wow. So since we're talking boxing fundamental, right? So at what age do you think is okay for a parent or like a trainer to introduce boxing to his or her own kid?
Well, I know where we at. We actually get the kids in there at from trial and error at an age of comprehendence, and that would be basically around about 7 going to 8, because they can't really compete until 9. Well, I think 8 or 9, somewhere up in there. I'm not for sure, but you want to get them in, and when they're able to comprehend more. Like some kids are more mature than others.
Exactly, I was about to say that.
Yeah. So some kids are more mature than others. So, in other words, it'll turn out to be a daycare, man, and you're dealing with kids. And some people want to put their kids in, and but if they're actually really trying to make it something that they want to do for a long-term thing or so, it's best to put them in when they show interest in it, or they have some kind of they can focus or so. I'm saying maturity to it. Because I have had kids, man, that come in and they look like a 15, 16-year-old amateur with a bunch of fights and stuff. They're more, they're more ready to go. They're more attentive, and they're listening. And I have had kids come in and start doing snow angels in the middle of the floor. I'm trying to go practice. And I'm like, man. So, when they're mature enough, I would say probably about 7 or 8. And it depends on the culture that you have around your gym. So usually, if you're a boxing dad or a boxing brother or so, or a boxing family, your kids are always around the gym at some point in time anyway. So from little on up until they're able to get in the ring themselves, you might find a family of kids up in there and they just let them roam around, put gloves on, and they just, kids always going to imitate what they see the bigger kids doing. So if you could get them in that type of culture and that they accept it, don't force it on them, they accept it and start doing it, and you got a way, okay, well, he's hitting this at 4 or 5 years old. He's, so now you kind of let them do their own thing and let them choose it on their own. But, like I said, that don't always go as planned. So usually maturity, it depends on the maturity, and about, 7 or 8-ish or so, if they're mature enough, they can get in and start training and stuff and kind of retain. And sometimes you have phenomenons, man. Kids come in and they right off the bat, man.
Yeah.
Then you have some kids, man, the parents that get mad at you because this other kid is
learning faster than them.
Yeah, he's advancing and learning more faster than the other kid, when they just, that kid is not ready for that yet. He might not be at the maturity to bring them in and let them do the things that they see or retain anything and stuff. So, you kind of just like take him out of there. I'm going to take him, I will bring him back maybe when he's 10 or 11 or so and try it again.
Wow. So you just mentioned something, Coach, before I forget. In that kind of situation, do we have to first it on the key? Like, okay, you have to, push him harder, or we just let him grow into that maturity stage?
Yeah, you just have to let them grow into it. Like some kids won't mature enough to get it. And the thing about, you want to see what kind of retention they have. What do they retain when you're holding practice? What do they retain when you're giving commands? What do they retain when you're giving instructions or something? Like I said, some kids, you tell them one thing, it's out their ear the next, as soon as the student you stop talking, they never paid attention to it at all.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have some kids that are mature enough that you say something and you demonstrate it, and they're right on top of it.
Yeah.
So it just depends, man.
How does that make you feel when you see kids like that? Like you just tell him one thing and he already grab it. Like
it makes me feel good, but it used to make me feel bad because like, dang man, am I being a good enough coach to explain and demonstrate to this little kid? And then I had to step back and be honest with myself. Like, hey, that kid is not ready to be in the gym to retain information like that. He's still a kid, He's still a kid. You have kids that run around play with toys. You have kids that pick up the broom when they see their mom and them and daddy cleaning the soil and go help wash the car, act like they're vacuuming the soil, act like they're cooking the soil, and stuff like that. So, I used to get mad at myself and like, hey man, what am I doing wrong? When actually
you don't have to, coach.
Yeah, it wasn't me. It was just they weren't there yet, So I had to start being hard on myself and just say, man, give it time. If they're not maturely there, they're just not there, So, then you got to be the fact that when you be honest with the parent and say, hey man, look, I'm looking and I'm evaluating your kid, and I just don't think they're ready to come in yet. Maybe you should try back in a couple of years or so. And see, everybody don't want to see that. Everybody want to hear that. They want their kid to bring right now. That's what the parent wanted more than the kid. I want to, but this and that. Take them to another gym, and then they have the same result. Then they take them to another gym, had the same result. In actuality, the kid just wasn't ready.
Thank you for that response, Coach. Since we're talking about boxing fundamental, right? So how important is the footwork? And yeah.
The footwork, that there is the block that holds the suit together, man. That's the most important thing. Before you start adding any other ingredients to whatever you got, before you start adding pepper and all this stuff, you got to have a good broth, man. And that's the basic, the foundation, pretty much. The foundation. Nothing goes unless your feet goes. You can't run track unless you move your feet. You can't play basketball unless you move your feet. You can't play soccer, tennis, football, nothing.
So, Coach, if I get you right, sorry to come in. So food is more important than the hands.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. Now you talking about boxing?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. The foot is more important than the hand, cause you can throw punches all day long and look like a Neanderthal out there. Moving around, falling around, and all out of position. And
that's me right there.
Yeah, but you're talking about boxing. You're talking about something. It's just, you have to have a foundation to be able to move in range, out of range, step with a punch, step back out of the way of a punch, step backwards with a punch, move laterally, everywhere with a punch, and while punching at the same time. So that's the most important thing out of anything. If you don't learn footwork, you would never learn boxing. Some people have natural footwork or so because they know how to move their feet. Some people, I see kids throwing the punches in the air, and one of my drill is to, I hold the pad, the mid up, and I just tell them to punch it. And when they punch it, I tell them to punch it again. Now I'm right in front of them. Punch it again, and then punch it again. So then I start moving back a little bit further, and they'll punch. Then I move back a little bit further, and they'll punch and be leaning. And I move back a little further, and they'll be punching and leaving, and then I move all the way back, and they will not even move their feet. They'll still sit there and I said, "Now, seriously, can you hit me from there?" No. Okay, so why aren't you moving? Okay, because boxing is a moving sport. You're not nobody. This is not like the Western movies where everybody sit there and take turns or shotgunning each other. You have to move. You have to be mobile. So if you're not able to throw a punch on a move or evade a punch on a move, throw a punch going forward, throw a punch going backwards, left, right, whatever. So that's going to limit your ability to be efficient boxer. You know, you got to be able to do everything north, south, east, and west. And if you don't get that groundwork first, everything is going to be off balance. Everything.
Wow. Wow. It's so funny because I watch you sometimes when you do the footwork. Looking at you, it's so you will love, people will love how you do the work, like at the very slow pace. But when it's time for the kids to do it, I don't know, because when I watch them do it or when I do it too, it's like I'm walking. But when you do, it's like you know how to move your leg. That it's like
yeah. It's basically, man, you're learning your body. You're learning your body and you're learning coordination. You know, you're learning your body on the mechanics of your body. That starts with the groundwork first. Then you start learning the mechanics of your body on, you know, motion. On one limb on one side coordinates with the limb on the other side. You know, opposite moves in coordination with both of them. So you have to learn your body and learn how to properly move your body in coordination and a rhythm, and that will make you a little bit better at being fluently moving around. Now, luckily, I was an athletic kid growing up, you know, so I was in football, I was in track, I tried to play basketball, but I was too fast to hold the ball, and I couldn't dribble, so I would be past the dude, and the dude be looking at me, the ball be behind him, you know, so I couldn't dribble, but, you know, but I had decently good footwork. And once I really started getting good at it, I was doing stuff like just naturally. And then I seen people that had 2 left feet or 2 right feet or 2 kneecaps, man, you know. They didn't even have good feet at all. So you got to have some kind of coordination with your body to perform different type of athletic moves or so. And sometimes you don't even know some things that you're doing. You do it naturally because your body does it on its own. So you have to actually learn some of these other movements and stuff that your body does naturally on its own. Like, for example, when we're doing our walking stance. We walk. You know, just a simple walk. Simple walk. And you'll be amazed how many people can't do it. You know, it's awkward when you're thinking about it. But when you say, hey, let's go to the store real fast, or come, let's go outside. Then walk outside and they're just like...
You just do it without you knowing, right?
Exactly. So that's a natural body movement, and we make natural body movements, but when you somehow start trying to be aware of your movements, it's like your body will function with you without you thinking about it. But once you start trying to recognize those movements, you kind of like, you know, you're like a robot. Your right hand and your right foot moving at the same time, left foot moving at the same time, then you have to go back. So yeah, it's crazy, but you know, that's stuff you have to work on.
So coach, talking on the footwork, right? The back leg is it more important than the front? Because I notice most of the time when we shadow box. Because I remember one drill that we did, we shadow box, we move forward, we move backward. Your emphasis is always on the back leg. That you move your back leg, then you follow by the front leg when you're going backward. Because can you elaborate more on that real quick?
Okay. So if you're standing, say for instance, you're in a boxing stance. And, you're standing in a boxing stand. You're standing more like a boxing stance, okay? So you think of a square box. If you're a square box and you're an orthodox fighter. Your left foot will be in the left top corner of the box, okay? And your rear foot will be in the right bottom corner of the box, okay? So that's right there is evenly distributing your body weight. So you got 50-50 on both feet. Okay. So if you're moving and you want to step forward, I never seen nobody not too many people step forward with their back leg
Okay.
in karate moves. And some, since I did everything, pretty much martial arts and all that stuff, maybe it's 30 people so you step with your back leg first again, with your front leg or so. But you're not necessarily balanced unless you're striking. So it's all about balance too. So you got to remain balanced no matter what. And there's some emphasis on putting more weight on your back foot, 70-20.
Mm-hmm.
You know, or more weight on your back foot, because that give you a lighter front foot to be able to step on your jab and pull out of with your weight, most of your weight on your back leg and stuff.
Yeah.
So now when you're stepping, you gotta push off your back leg, but you gotta be able to pick your front leg up. So you want to step forward with your front leg, and you push off the ball of your feet on your back leg to kind of propel yourself forward. You know, that right there is give you a little push.
Wow.
A little push. So if I'm going backwards, I want to reach with my back leg and push off my front foot, or the front ball of my foot.
Yeah.
Okay. So I got to stay balanced no matter what. So if I was to move my front leg first, that means I'm bringing both my legs to a not out of the box,
closer. Yeah.
into a straight line, or like I would look at emphasis of a 2x4, standing straight up horizontal.
Yeah.
So both feet horizontal. There's no balance there. Once somebody comes in, because either you gonna fall left, right, or
knock you out. Yeah.
So if you got your box stance and you keep your balance, just how you move backwards or forward, and you're able to throw punches. So basically, when your stance, you want to be able to be balanced to throw punches. Okay, so you don't want to be on your back leg too much unless you're strategically doing something you worked on. Front leg people, you fight on your front leg mostly, and there's strategies to these, both of them. But usually you fight on your front leg's heavy, so you're more likely not to get out of the way of punches.
Yeah.
With all your weight on front leg, because you're not able to push your body back. But in instances, you have to be able to push forward with my back leg and then push backwards with my front leg to get out. Push forward with my front leg to gain ground. Push backwards with the bottom foot on my front leg to space.
Wow. Thank you for that response, my coach. Since we're talking about the boxing fundamental, the next thing is gonna be punches, man. How many punches? Okay, we have like jabs, cross, hook, uppercut. Like, say we try to work on like a little kid, cause like I've seen people do, or maybe like I've seen some coaches, their emphasis is always on the jab all the time. Jab, 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 jab. Like just the first thing to teach kid. So say we have a new kid now, like, okay, will jab be the first thing that the kids needs to learn when it comes to punches?
Well, you tie it with the footwork. Okay, so a kid would never be able to throw a good jab unless he know the footwork on throwing a jab. Okay, so now throwing a jab, the front hand is important, and you want to not drill it, but first you got to get them familiar with all the punches. All the punches. So it depends on what system somebody use. Some people will use the
numbers,
which is simplified or custom models of Mike Tyson's first trainer. His numbers were every punch was numbered.
Okay.
And over the years, some people have tailored the numbers to, like, they took the same formula and tailored the numbers to their punches to make what you're trying to get over to the fighter.
Okay.
Okay. So Yes, the jab is one of the first punches that you want to
That
learn.
jab is one, right?
Yeah, so you have the jab, lead hand. You have the right cross, the rear hand. Then you have the left hook. The hook, that'll be the lead hand hook. So
Okay.
you don't have to necessarily say right hook or left hook because you don't know which one's south or orthodox. So you
Yeah.
say lead hand.
Yeah.
That'll be whichever hand is in the front.
Yeah.
So you have your lead hand hook, you have your rear hand hook, you have your rear uppercut, you have your lead uppercut, you have your rear overhand, you have your lead overhand, which people don't know, but it is. So and you have your body shots and so too. You know, you can tailor those to different numbers. It depends on how you're teaching and how you're trying to get it across to the person or whoever you're training the soul to recognize those numbers because you don't want to be able to say right cross, left cross, right cross. You want to give them numbers where it could be called.
Is it like a more or less like a play call that you don't want them to know your signs?
Well, not necessarily that, but something they can pick up and you can say in rapid recession.
Okay,
And
okay.
you pick it up. So you say right cross, left cross. That take too long to say that.
I'll say
So,
one, two, right?
1, 2, yeah, 1, 2,
One,
1.
two, three.
Yeah, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3. You know, 6, 3, 2, 6, 3, 2. And you know, when you are naming your punches, you have your my number system will be 1, the lead hand, 2,
That's the jab. One is jab, right?
yeah, 1 lead hand jab, 2 rear hand right cross, 3 lead hand left hook or hook, 4 rear hand hook. 5 will be your lead hand uppercut. 6 be a lead hand a rear hand uppercut. 7 on my system is a overhand left.
Mm-hmm.
8 will be a overhand right. And I have alphabets and stuff too that you know for some punches that I want to go in specific places. I add the alphabet towards it.
Wow. Thank you so much, Coach. Before I let you go tonight, I just want to ask you one more question.
Uh-huh.
The growth of boxing in Oklahoma as a state, how has it been so far? So, from your own standpoint or from your own view.
Um, okay. I'm now. This is my 7th year in boxing
Yes, sir.
because I came from MMA, mixed martial arts, and all kind of background and stuff. So this is my 7th year in boxing, and so and boxing been going on for a long time. You can see the opening and closing of a lot of old gyms and a lot of new gyms and stuff. So I couldn't really go back and tell you about the gyms that predates me before I started getting into it. It's just the ones I knew when I first got moved to Oklahoma. And, I've seen over the years, as I moved here to 97, 98,
Okay.
I've seen a lot of gyms open and close or so. And so that the growth of it is more likely the opening of new gyms and spreading. So over the years, the last 10, 15 years or so, I've seen a lot of new gyms open up. And so the growth is slowly coming on, more like some of the old coaches, they phase out. And, and we have more of the fighters coming back and opening up gyms so it's growing. So far as it's growing, I wouldn't say fast paced growing, but we have a decent amount of growth for boxing and stuff, and it's only gonna get better, with years to come. We don't necessarily have all the long history and tradition of boxers coming from old school boxing coaches that are opening up gyms after their coaches have gave it up, So we have a lot of new coaches, and we have guys that have fought before now are opening up gyms and stuff. So the growth is slowly moving along, but I see it's moving. I see it moving. When I first got here, I only knew about 3 boxing gyms or so. And
Wow.
over the last, like I said, since I've been here since 96, 97, but 98, I've seen, 4 gyms closed down and 5 gyms open up, six
Wow.
gyms open up, 7 gyms open up. With being some of the newest gyms in the last 2 years, I've seen 3, 4 new gyms open up.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's growing over the state of Oklahoma. It's getting there, and you know, you never know, man. But it's slowly moving on.
Wow. That's thank you so much. Let me ask you two more questions. I'm sorry for saying the last question. The nationals are coming up, man. I'll prepare. The some of your boxes.
Man, it's pretty tough, man. You know, we try to prepare them the best that we can. Expect what they're not going to expect before, because you only get that from experience.
Yes, sir.
We have one kid, Marcos Galando. Two of his uncle and his dad are coaches. Uh, he went to nationals a year ago, so he got that type of experience of getting out there. And when you go to talk about nationals, you're talking about kids from all over the United States, and these are the best of the kids out of all United States.
Yeah.
So I'm talking about the best of the best, because you have your state, you have your regional and stuff, which all eliminate each other, and you go to the cream of the crop,
Yes,
which
sir.
is the best 2 nationals, and you'll fight against the whole United States. So Marco has came a long way, so far as competing and stuff, and from his first time at nationals and stuff, he did good for the time that he fought, and the amount of time that he went to nationals. I think it was like 3, 4 fights, you
Wow.
know. Yep, and he did good, and to fight in the championship bout against a kid from New Jersey, I think. So he's had that experience before and up to now. So but it gets harder and harder every year, because now they're aging and stuff. But he's getting pretty prepared. We've been working with him on certain things and stuff, and what to expect. And they get faster, they get smarter, everything. So I think he'll be okay. You never know what that kid's got, but all you can do is prepare your kid the best, and
Yeah.
hopefully everything's go the way you prepare for it. And we have another kid, Luis,
Yeah.
154, 9-year-old. Um, he went last year. Well, we signed him up last year, and there was no one in his weight class to fight
Wow.
an 8-year-old at 160, 150, 160 something, I think. That's a pretty good sized kid. Hey, those kids are playing football, pee wee football or something
I
like that.
know. O-line.
But he's in the boxing. So with that being rare, and like I said, most of that type of kid is in football. It was rare to find a match, even in the United States. If we could find one in regionals, we could find them a state. So we're like, okay,
Wow.
maybe nationals. And
Wow.
nationals last year, he never did. So he won by default on the national champion, because he had no one to compete against.
To compete.
This year, he has a kid this year that's at 154, and I think he's 10.
Wow.
So yeah, the age groups is 9 to 10. So Luis just turned 9 this year, December,
Yeah.
and he haven't had a fight yet. He has plenty of sparring, but he haven't had a fight yet. So, and the kid that he's
So, coach, does the age dictate so much? Because you said Luis just turned 9, and the person is the matchup that they got for him is 10. Does that 1 or 2 years, does it make much of a difference when it comes to the fight?
Not necessarily. Not necessarily, because it just depends on the amount of experience or preparation that you got.
You got
So
okay.
let's say That kid got probably about 4 or 5 fights, but and like, a lot of sparring. But we can have a kid that has like 40, 50, 60 something sparring.
Sparring.
So
fight.
Yeah, they're not necessarily fights in the ring, but sparring. I'm talking about like good sparring.
Yeah.
50 something sparring. So it will equal out in experience there. But sometimes when it's actual fight, you never know
It's
what it feels
different,
like.
coach. Yeah.
It's different with the atmosphere, with the pressure
The
and
knives.
everything. So Luis never been actual in a fight, like in the ring, but he has had plenty of sparring. But the thing about this particular matchup that he has, the kid, every kid hits a growth spurt somewhere along the line.
Yeah.
And the kid that he's fighting, he's not. Well, Luis is 9. This kid is 10, but this kid is more leaning towards 11. But his birthday just haven't matched up. So like somewhere within the kid's birthday he's fighting is like April 4th, 2024. That kid hit his growth spurt from what I was looking at, kind of following, get much of insight on him. He won nationals last year.
Wow.
And he fought against a kid that, I guess he was in a different weight class or something. He won nationals last year, but he was about Luis's size, about April or May of last year. Same size, same everything. Well, somewhere along the line, he hit a growth spurt around about September, November, and that kid grew like another 2 feet.
Wow.
But like I said, you never know when the growth spurt hits a kid, but his body has matured into an 11-year-old type body, and his birthday just haven't came across it. So Luis, he's just coming from a 10-year-old's body, a 9 or 8-year-old's body, and he's up into a 9-year-old's body, so he hasn't hit his growth spurt yet, which will probably be somewhere along the middle of the year. If you kind of chart it, you can tell when the kids hit their growth spurts and stuff. So he's actually fighting almost close to an 11-year-old, a 9-year-old fighting an 11-year-old as in growth, body growth and maturity. Kind of, he's fighting a kid that's got almost a 2-year experience or so. So, it's still a fight on paper, 9 against a 10-year-old, but actually, mentally, there's an 8-year-old forming into a 9, and
that's what really made me ask that question, because you see some kid, they big, but the way they think is like they're still like a little kid. But you see somebody who is like maybe 10 going to 11, like the maturity will be way different from 8 going to 9.
Yeah, but with the birthdays, they're within fight rights. But like I said, it's the maturity and the growth spurt of it. That kid did his growth spurt around September, October, and grew another 2 feet. So he's into an 11-year-old's body.
Wow.
So I could imagine what's going to happen one time September, October, November of next year, of this year, and his growth spurt going to go again, until he stops growing. But he hit it. And we would thought like, oh man, they're the same height. It's gonna be a good fight. Now this kid like another 2 feet taller, and he hit that growth spurt. So like, oh wow, So and he probably, he's up into the 11-year-old mentality or so. So we'll see what happens, man. Like only thing we can do is, prepare Luis the best we can, swarm against 11-year-old kids or so. And and see how he does. That way he won't be nothing foreign to him when he gets in there. He can get used to it.
And this last question before I let you go, Coach. I saw this on the internet, and I said I was gonna ask you. Do you think Anthony Joshua is a better matchup for Francis Ngannou? Because I watched what's it called? What they call it? The press conference a couple of days ago. And I was like, okay, when I see you, I was going to ask you. It just popped up on my head now.
Better matchup? Besides versus what, Tyson Fury or?
No, Francis Ngannou.
I know what I'm saying, but a better matchup than he was with Tyson Fury, or?
No, no, I'm saying is Anthony Joshua, is he a better matchup for Francis Ngannou right now? Because in my mind I'm thinking uh Anthony Joshua is going into like a Lions Den fighting
Mm.
Francis Ngannou.
Well, I would say maybe, I would think he's a better matchup. Um, he got better. He got good, decent technique. He got good, decent defense and stuff. You know, he can move and stuff and everything. But got Fury kind of in trouble is his long arms.
Uh-huh.
And usually, when you got a person with a body frame like that,
Yeah.
you kind of the strategy is that you can't really get to them if they're boxing because they keep you so far away from them and they're punching, they're moving backwards. They're gonna always keep you in their space. But
Wow.
what Pagano did, he let Tyson Fury step in towards him. And what happened was while Tyson stepping in, he's actually
Get
putting
cut.
himself moving.
Yeah.
And then when Gano decides to step forward, so he kind of let Tyson Fury punch and come forward so he could cut the range himself. And then he got clipped. So, you know, like so you stop moving, especially with a guy that's coming forward, or you go forward, you just don't know when they're gonna go. So now with Anthony Joshua, I think he's more used to fighting guys by the same body frame as him.
Okay.
So it'll be an even matchup. I think it'll be more him than Oganu, you know, because I think, you know, he'd be able to do things better than what Tyson did. But like I said, it doesn't matter. If you got a decent strategy and your strategy follows through, and Anthony get hit one good time, you know, clip or whatever. We seen what happened when Luis hit him and clipped him, and he was out of there. So
good luck to him.
Yeah, you seen what happened when Gano hit Fury and clipped him.
Yeah.
You know, but he's been clipped a couple times before.
Yeah.
And but you know, so it's a 50-50. You can always say, you know, I think he'll be a better matchup, but then again, it's boxing, so whoever strategy plays out and whoever get that hard punch, you know, it's about a lot of risk on certain things that you do. So if Anthony can limit the risk, and limit the risk of being open or getting caught, I say he wins.
For me, I really want Joshua to win because he's from Nigeria and I'm from Nigeria too. But I'm a little bit worried about him because every time he wins, he loses the next match right after that. Because his win after Ruiz, Andy Ruiz has been off and on. He will win the next match or the next fight, he will lose. Then he will win, then the next fight, he will lose. And I'm like, is this a fluke? Like, but I really want him to win.
Yeah, well, it's a chance, man. Everybody got a chance as long as you limit the mistakes that you make. Yeah, one mistake in that weight class, one mistake will cost you. Tyson Fury came forward and made one mistake, get too close, got clipped, but he pulled it out with points controversially. Everybody say Ngannou won, you know, but you know, boxing. They're not gonna necessarily let a MMA guy come and just overstep a point. You know, politics
Excuse me.
about it. But those two guys, if Anthony doesn't make mistakes and box and don't get caught and limited getting mistakes like getting caught coming forward and getting timed, or he's staying forward too long or getting in the corner of the ring or so, and let Ngannou wail on him.
Yeah.
I think he'll win the fight easily. But you always got that one factor if he don't get caught.
Yeah.
So you gotta limit those mistakes.
Yeah. So coach, I don't want to talk about Wilder right now, but before you go, you know, what's your last word for the upcoming, you know, boxers, you know, in the city, Oklahoma? Like, you know, your last word for them.
Oh man, we got a good, decent kids that can actually go and do some things, man. if they stick to it, you know, it's not like the culture of North. It's not like the culture of East and West here in Oklahoma City, because boxing is not necessarily the number one
Sport.
go-to thing
Yeah.
like here. But if some of the kids actually can find something they can put um, they can put themselves in a place of the future.
Yeah.
And if I stick with this, you know what I might get from it, as long as I'm working hard, then you know it'll work out for them. You know, so to those kids, man, you know, tell them just keep working hard, and if you could look down the line or past your future, you can get the future in your head and see how far you can get in this. You can go and do what you want to, but if it's not, if it's just something you're doing, then still do it to the best that you can do it, and then you know it come to good.
Wow.
Don't have to do nothing. Do it to the best you can. So when you decide to go on with something else, you say, "Well, I did this. I think I did it good." And now, if you're going to pursue it, you know, get in there and grind. That's all you can do. Get in there and grind, man, and let your work and your time in the gym predict your future.
Wow. My Coach T, I really want to thank you, for coming, on the show tonight, and I really want to say a very, big thank you to you and for great work you're doing in the city as far as boxing is concerned, man, Coach. We really appreciate what you're doing for the kids, even for the coaches and some of these amateur boxers. Thank you so much and for coming on the show, and I want to wish you a very wonderful week ahead. Thank you, Coach Tony, and have a very wonderful night.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you.
God bless you, sir. Yes, sir.